you birdied the second hole on Thursday, and you're like, I'm going to win the Masters. and then you're like, you're the third group off, and it's like your name's at the top of the leaderboard. You're like, I'm going to win. And
I would
it's
screenshot
so
and keep
easy
forever.
to be that way, and you're just like, I gotta take 3 steps back.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. We are live. We got a big show. We got JT Poston. He's going to be joining the show for the second half of the show. I looked up notes on him from before because I knew we had the Postman on before. And it was over 4 years ago was the last time we had the Postman on the show. It was 2020.
John Deere Classic champion, my friends. Get ready. I know you guys are nervous, but you just got to take deep breaths. It's like having a major championship winner on here. So just take a deep breath. We know this guy. He's a really nice guy. I remember we saw him in Scotland right after he won the John Deere at the Open Championship. He's just a super nice guy. I can't wait to have him on. So get excited for that, boys.
We also talked to him on the putting green of the U.S. Open at Pinehurst.
Yes, we did.
Wow.
The practice putting green. We had a little conversation. We talked to him about the fact that we had just played TPC Deer Run, or we were going to go play TPC Deer Run.
One or the other. I can't remember.
Yeah, we were doing the Midwest tour. I don't know if it was before or after, but he was pretty jacked up about it.
He's one of your brethren there, Trent. I feel like you guys have a nice little fraternity of people that have won the John Deere Classic.
No doubt about it. Also a great golf nickname. I mean, we almost need him to get more and more famous because the Postman is a great nickname. I feel like there's not that many great golf nicknames right now, like in the game. What are they?
Oh man, Rombo.
Obviously, you got the Golden Bear, you got the Black Knight, you got the King. Those guys they're not in the game anymore.
The Walrus, maybe the greatest golf nickname of all time.
Who is that?
The Walrus is it Stadler, Masters winner? The Walrus. PGA
There's the Big
Tour.
Easy, but he's not relevant in the game today.
Boom Boom is probably the best one.
That's a great one, but I'm talking about current day.
Mm-hmm.
Big Cat, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Ever heard of him?
Yep, that's a good one.
Like
JT doesn't have one, Rory doesn't have one, DJ doesn't have one, Brooks doesn't have one. We need nicknames.
Brooks has the Blake of the Year.
Okay.
That's something.
It's not nothing.
The Postman's got to be up there. It's just not that many right
Imagine
now.
he was on that Scotty run. It's like the Postman delivers another major championship.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. If golf wants to grow, it's got to do a few things, but I certainly think it's got to incorporate more nicknames.
Is Rombo, do you guys go?
Rombo's a great one, yeah.
It's a good one, right?
That's a good one. That's probably number one. Certainly the best nickname for a highly ranked player right now.
It's I feel like golf, it's kind of got names that are unique enough that they haven't needed nicknames. Like
Ernie Els,
Bryson.
the Big Easy.
Well, Rory is a perfect example of that, right? Rory is Rory. He's
His
one of
name was
those
Tim
who transcends
McElroy.
the sport. You don't even have to have a nickname because you're Rory.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think Tim McElroy, he would need a nickname. People wouldn't be like, oh, there's do you hear what Tim did this last week? No, it's like
I think
Rory.
they'd probably call him Timmy Mac. That would be his name.
Why did we lose the nickname era, like the Shark and all these? Why don't they have the names anymore?
Well, if you go back to those guys, and I'd be curious to know, they embraced it, right? Like Norman had the shark on his hat.
Oh yeah.
Gary Player has the knight in his logo. Like you almost got to have guys who embrace it. And in the brand building era, you would think that would be a big deal.
You guys never heard the Walrus? You guys haven't? You ever seen Craig Stadler, dude? Oh my God!
I'm looking at him now. He is a walrus.
He's the Walrus. Dude. It's so good. But yeah, we don't have that many right now. I wonder what the Postman.
I was just going to go to the World Golf Rankings and look at the names and see if there's anybody.
Tiger is literally a nickname.
It is,
His
but he's
name is
had
Ultra.
that. That wasn't something he. Yeah, no, but if we're gonna listen, if we got to count that, we got to count it because we're pretty low on nicknames in the game of golf.
Lefty.
Lefty's a great one.
Lefty's a great one.
You got to be so good. There's not that many left-handed golfers, but there's a lot. But to be the best left-handed golfer of all time, and they just call you Lefty, and everybody knows who you're referring to.
Lefty's
that's a good
great.
one. Good one, Alex.
Way to go, Bushman. Yeah.
Yeah, we got
That's a
Scotty,
really good one.
Xander, X. Nobody calls Xander X, I guess. Rory, Colin, Ludwig, Wyndham, Hideki, Victor, Bryson, Tommy, Fleetwood, Patrick Cantlay. Just no nicknames. None.
Like
Zero.
the mechanic, Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Mhm.
Great one.
Like that generation, the nickname generation has just moved on. Even Lefty. I mean, Left feels, he's kind of over the hill when it comes to golf.
Kind of bums me out.
I know. Postman.
Damn, man. Like, what's going on with that? Like, why don't we do the nicknames anymore?
This is what I'm saying.
The chef. We tried to come up with that for Scotty. Called him the chef.
Yeah, I guess it's tough. They just don't stick anymore. It's kind of up to, you know who it's up to a degree is the announcers on the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something. Did somebody have the nickname Big Christmas before? Or did that come during the baseball playoffs?
Not sure on that one.
I don't think so. Big Christmas is a good one.
That is nice. That's
I
really
thought
nice.
that just happened.
It's kind of
recently.
rattling me. Like, you look, that whole era had nicknames. I mean,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that no one does now. And we've got the biggest players in the game. Like, there's no excuse. There's no like, oh, those guys were better. It's like, that's not true. Like, we have just as many guys winning championships and tournaments now as they did back then.
It also could be up to us.
Yeah.
Not that I want to create one right now, but it's just that, yeah, it's got to come from somewhere. And the guys
We're not
themselves,
missing one, right? Because we miss things a lot on the show. Last week
all
we
the
talked.
time.
Last
brother.
episode we talked about how SoFi Cup is like a pretty crazy name for a league, and then the literal league that we talk about, PGA Tour, has the FedEx Cup, and we just didn't talk about that once.
But
You
we
know, and
shit on the FedEx Cup too.
FedEx,
Right.
I know, but like, we didn't bring that up not one time. Someone's like, I don't want to drive off the road.
Oh, I was thinking. Well, we were coming up with ones that had actual names, and that was a good idea. FedEx Cup is bad.
No, there was a point in last show where we were naming leagues and trophies that are sponsored, and we're like, I can't think of another one. I was like, I think the Nexus Cup is one.
That's how little I feel. That's how little excited I am about
Yeah.
the FedEx Cup.
Someone said they were screaming FedEx Cup.
Probably
Just
just somebody
the
works for
one.
the PGA Tour.
That's
Yeah.
right. Might be.
No nicknames. Somebody start it. We got to start a new era of nicknames because we're missing it, and all the other greats from the old generations have nicknames.
We got a nicknamed man on this show. The Postman. JT
Postman. True.
That's what brought up the whole conversation.
but
Tap in, Frankie. Tap in, buddy.
But also, that's not.
That's good
yeah,
stuff.
it's a nickname, but it's like.
That's definitely a nickname.
I know, but like his name is Poston, so it's like you could see like the other ones are just so random.
It's true.
Greg Norman, the Shark.
Shark.
Listen, we got to start somewhere, dude.
I know. I'm texting Kirk Minahan right now saying, how come we lost these nicknames? It's going to get him going, I think.
Okay.
Because it's like all of his era of golf,
It is.
I love it.
Freddie Boom Boom. What does that even come from? Do you know where Freddie Boom Boom comes from?
I actually don't
Ernie
know.
is the Big Easy. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They call Michelle Wee the Big Wheezy.
If we don't know about it, then it wasn't a thing.
Paul Laurie, Chippy.
But again, these are just... I mean, Minwoo Lee
I
is
didn't know
trying,
that
right?
one.
Mr. Chapinski?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's trying. That's a guy who's trying. Just something for everybody to think about.
We can ask Postman about it. Maybe he wants to be in rarefied air. He wants to be in a small group that's only got, a few nicknames. So
Yeah, it's like him,
so anyway.
Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player, and Greg Norman.
Tiger Woods, maybe Big Cat, Lefty, pretty good company. So we got the Postman coming on to the show, and I'm excited to talk to him. He won in Vegas, and I imagine that was quite the celebration afterwards. So get geared up for that. Frankie's mesmerized by the nickname thing. I'm excited to hear what Kirk Minahan has to say about the entire thing.
The Equinox EV. Trent, we're here to talk about Chevy. The Equinox EV, the electric vehicle, helps you get the distance that you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. We've talked a lot about moving into the future and going electric and going with these EVs. Chevy is a pioneer in this space. They've been doing it for over a decade, and now they're getting it to the point where 319 miles of range on a full charge. What more can you ask for? I feel like there's a lot of skepticism and skeptical people out there being like, are we going to be able to do this? What happens if you get stuck? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're talking 319 miles. You can go a long way at 319 miles.
That is a long way. And who are you going to trust? A company that is jumping on the EV bandwagon, has only been doing it for a couple of years, or our friends at Chevrolet who've been doing it for over a decade? The Equinox EV, it's a no-brainer. Go on Chevy.com, check them out, check out the other vehicles they got. But the Equinox is a beautiful machine. And yeah, it's electric and it's the future. And yeah, you don't have to spend money on gas anymore.
Beautiful machine is right. They offer a best-in-class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. The interior is incredible. The infotainment screen, which I just said, 17.7-inch diagonal standard, is incredible. It's also very roomy. There's no compromises in the interior with ample cargo room and convenient storage solutions. The Equinox EV also has a starting price at $34,995, which is a great starting price. Your pricing may vary as dealers set the final price, but for a standard, just brand new 2025 Equinox EV LT, $34,000, an incredible starting point. And the Equinox EV can accommodate comfortable seating for up to 5 people. So all these thoughts that you have about these electric vehicles, they're too small, they don't go far enough, they're too expensive. Chevrolet is axing all of those assumptions about these cars, and they are just paving the way to make these things more affordable and great vehicles. So head over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV to check out product info, lease offers, and amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
We got to do closest two. We got to do closest two pretty early in the show because we got to get it done before the JT Poston interview, because then I've got to jet out of here. So I think we might do something crazy and just lead with closest two right now. I don't know if Alex Bush, I don't know if you're prepared right now for the results from the last one, but hopefully if you are, then we can fire up closest two and get this thing.
Yes,
cooking.
I am.
There he is.
Yes, I am.
Congrats to the Bills, by the way. I know you were at that game.
Yeah, it was fun. They beat one of the worst teams in the league, really.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Just,
feels good to beat bad teams, though. Just being like, all right,
it
we
does,
are
especially like kill them.
Yeah.
Feels
It's
great.
it's like executing a simple up and down. Feels really, really good because you can fuck that up very easily.
Yeah,
and be devastated.
they beat 2 really bad teams in a row. So
Did they play
Good
2 weeks in a row?
Nice work.
Oh, the Jets.
Oh shit!
Fuck
All
you.
All right.
We can't get any, whenever there's any sort of promise in New York sports, aside from the Yankees, and in a week now, that might be a different story. But right now, the New York Yankees are in the World Series facing off against the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's going to be an amazing time. But it's like anytime the other teams have any sort of glimpse of hope, it just immediately abruptly ends. It's abrupt, like the Mets run ended like a door got shut right on their faces. They never had a chance. All the miracle stuff, the Jets, it's like you go and get a historically incredible Hall of Fame quarterback. You bring in Devontae Adams, all of this like amazing hype, right? Even last year, 4 snaps, the guy ends up tearing his Achilles. And then he comes back and you're like, well, they actually played pretty decent, even with like Zach Wilson and all these guys and Mike White. And you're like doing all the math. You're like, actually, they might be able to do something here. And then no, he comes back. They're just as bad. They're actually worse than they were last year. They're actually worse.
They're terrible.
They're healthy and they're worse.
We'll get to closest to the pin, but how does the local Jets fan, you're a local Jets fan reporter, feel about Aaron Rodgers currently?
It's not great.
Okay.
It's not great. I mean, he's not moving that well. The passes are, he's got like no pop anymore. He's constantly like rolling his eyes in his head. It's like all these routes can't be wrong. I mean, Garrett Wilson was incredible last year. I don't understand. Like, they're just wrong every time. You're throwing picks. It's their fault every time. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
That would be my takeaway as an outsider looking in. He just does not look like he wants to be there.
Then like he goes on all these shows and all these interviews and he's like obsessed with it. He's like, this is all I want to do. This is why I'm alive. He's like, what else am I going to do?
All right, Alex, let's get some
I'm
up.
kind of wearing some Jets colors today for you.
Yeah, you are.
Go Rodgers.
That's a deep green you got on.
Yeah, forest green. Forest.
I'm actually very excited. I'm playing pretty big rounds of golf in Jersey this weekend, and it's like the ultimate bring out your best Peter Millar fall gear. I feel like we've been avoiding the fall weather because we've been going to warmer climates, and it really hasn't been that cold here in New York. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the forecast. 62 and sunny is like ideal
primo
Peter Millar fall gear. So I'm pumped about that. I'm going vests. I'm going, layering. It's a good time to be me with layering and the body frame and all that. So that's exciting.
It is very exciting. It's the best part of the
Islanders
play golf
held the Detroit Red Wings to 1 goal last night and 10 shots. They lost. It's the first time the Detroit Red Wings have had 10 shots and won since 1952, which is just a staggering stat. An original 16 plays a ton of games. They've played a ton of hockey games where they've only taken 10 shots probably.
All the
They've
time.
never won one of them. So it is what it is. Islanders dominated the game, didn't score a single goal. Sometimes you just lose like that. Sometimes the goalie just gets hot.
Didn't they lose to the Blues 1-0 last week?
Yeah, they've gotten shut out 3 times in 6 games, which is just
right.
usually if you get shut out like 6 times in a year. It's like, holy shit. There were 6 games that people attended that they saw no goals. We are 6 games into this, and they've done it 3 times. So
Outshot 29-11. Holy shit.
what, last night?
Lost.
Yeah,
one
they outshot them 29-10, I think it was, or 11. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Patrick
I
Kane
went to that game.
still doing it. Showtime. That's another nickname right there.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Oh, hockey's got good ones.
Oh, heck yeah.
Big
It's
Jesus.
a sports thing.
Right. Everybody's got good ones, but the current golf, I would say.
All right.
All
let's
right,
get to
all right.
this.
Close to the pin last week or 2 weeks ago because we skipped last week. Birdies for Kiz in rounds 1 and 2 in Utah. He had 4 birdies. I won that with 7. Total points in Red River rivalry between Texas
River
and
rivalry.
Oklahoma.
Wed
River rivalry.
That's a hard one. I wouldn't be able to say that either.
37 points. Texas destroyed them, and this is when Alistair jumped in to take the
Okay.
Dan/Dylan/Alistair points. He won that with it was 37. He won that with 44.
Attaboy, Al.
Total goals in the NHL on last Saturday it was 74, and that was Trent and Alistair. No, just Trent.
Yes.
Trent won that with 73.
Oh, I was
Wow.
Yeah, you were close.
Ooh.
close. I know Puck. If there's a guy on this
Ooh.
podcast who knows Puck, it's me.
And then the last one was points by the Jets against the Bills on Monday night. 20 points. Alistair won that with 23.
Wow.
I
Al
love
had a
to
big
see
week.
Alistair getting those points instead of you guys.
Yeah, you had 2 points.
That's like
I
a
bet
that's
you
like
did.
a
He's not
that's like
making
a-
the leaderboard, though, right? We've
an
wiped those
independent
names
candidate
out.
in the presidential collection, just taking votes away from you guys.
Just ruining it. He really is. God damn it.
So standings right now, Trent first with 61.
Mm.
I have 54. Riggs 46. Frankie 40.
At least I'm not
Okay.
in 30s anymore. I was in 30s forever.
Good to see you with a 4 in front of you there, Frank. Nice.
Who's bringing them this week?
It's my week. It's
Yeah.
my week. We got a lot of sports going on right now. It's sort of the primo time of the year, fall. We've got World Series starting Friday night. So my first question, closest to, is how many total runs will be scored in Game 1 of the World Series? Our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook have it at 8.5 is the over/under on total runs. I'm going total runs in the World Series Game 1.
What does DraftKings have for the odds on the series overall? Do you happen to have that on you?
Pull it up really quickly on this fantastic app right here, Trent Danny.
I was going to say it'll happen fast.
Dodgers have to be favored, right?
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, they're home. They have the better record. I would be stunned. I mean, it's got to be close to a pick'em, but I would be stunned if the Dodgers aren't slightly favored, and they are. They're minus 120. Oh, for the first game they are. Sorry,
Oh, series winner. Minus 125
minus
for
125.
the LA Dodgers.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it should be a good series.
That makes sense. You could already bet on the World Series for 2025.
That's nuts. I've submitted we're doing a couple different group chats.
All right.
Oh, I'm in a
Yeah, I
different
just
group
noticed
chat,
that.
Sorry. Or
That's
I don't
okay.
know.
It's all good.
Is what it is.
All right.
Is what it is.
Total runs in Game 1. Frankie 10. Riggs 11. Let me go to the other group. Trent 11.
Fuck.
Alex 10.
Oh my god.
You
So if you
stymied
said-
I
me,
shouldn't
dude.
get
I
mad
can't-
when that happens. I should be happy that we're
just-
guessing the same.
I know
I'm
you
just-
should.
no,
That's a dream for you.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
catch
good
you
for
if I'm
Trent.
tied.
It's not
Every
good
time
for
I-
us.
I
Trying to
was
catch
just
pitcher's
want to
Trent.
be by
duel.
myself, but I'm like, I'm beating you guys so badly that tying is fine.
Second one. This one's a little bit different. We're going to stick with the World Series, the Fall Classic. It's a big one. It's going to get a lot of attention. The game starts at 8:08 p.m. Eastern. What time will the game finish? What time will the final out be cast? And that game finishes.
for game 1.
Game 1.
They're doing pitch clock in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they move a little faster now.
Pitch clock is incredible, and
Incredible.
I mean, now that 1 year is really they're starting to get used to it. You could tell that it's part of a pitcher's like strategy. Also,
Mm-hmm.
like some guys will throw the ball with literally 1 second left, and they're like, you got to think it's getting in everyone's head.
which is great. It worked.
Do you see this group chat right now?
What?
Okay. I'm
Are
in.
we going to the other one? Because the other one.
I'm in the other one.
What is wrong with that man?
Lurch just said, as fat and as pathetic as I have ever been, I pulled my quad last night running 25 feet. Now I cannot move. He's always been pathetic.
I said, that doesn't sound that different than what the guy I've known for a long time.
Is that just he's just venting there? He's just kind of letting
I don't know.
somebody
I actually think he knows that we're clearly recording right now, and he's like, I'm gonna chime in here.
That's kind of nice. Give us a little content. Feels good. All right. What are the numbers there?
All right.
Bushman.
Riggs 10:57 p.m. Frankie 11:23. Trent 11:31. Alex 11:26.
Quick game, baby. Quick game. Get those pitch clock. Keep them moving. Okay. Third one. In college football this weekend, we have the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks. I'm in Oregon. I'm in band in Oregon right now for the Uncle Tony Invitational. We got the Oregon Ducks hosting Illinois. What will the spread end up being in the game? You can obviously take either way. If you think Illinois might win, you could pick Illinois by 3 or whatever you want to do. Oregon on the DraftKings Sportsbook, I believe, is about a 21.5 point favorite currently.
So what will the winning margin be either way?
What will the winning margin be? And you got to pick the team.
You do. Okay.
So Oregon Ducks hosting, I think, number 20. Illinois is like number 20 or
What
something.
do you guys think of those Illinois jerseys last week? Did you guys see those?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the old school like Leatherman hat.
I didn't like it. I wanted to
sucked.
really like it, but I like the idea, but it just didn't look the way that I wanted it to.
I didn't hate the helmets. I hated the actual jersey.
I didn't like it either. Looks like shit. Go Mizzou. Fuck Illinois.
I'm confused about this one. I mean, I know what I have to do, but
I'm confused about this, but I know what I have to do.
Confused about that statement. Riggs, Oregon
submitted
by
it to-
yeah, I
yeah,
see
two-part.
that.
2 part.
Oregon by 34. Alex, Oregon by 24. Trent, Oregon by 31. Frankie, Oregon by 18.
Okay.
All right.
Last one. This is right behind Gravy Train's face there. This is a Josh Allen jersey. I believe they're playing the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. How many pass yards will Josh Allen have on Sunday against the Seahawks? How many pass yards?
Are you trying to I'm not even going to say the word.
Nope.
Never mind.
I'm not doing
Okay.
anything. I don't know what you're
Okay.
talking about. I don't know. No.
how many pass yards?
He had like 320 last week, and he had like 50 yards at halftime. Yeah, 323.
I think I'm going to get this one exact.
Really?
So
Yep.
do I.
I almost want to institute like a double if I think I'm going to get it exact, and then you take points away if I don't get it,
So you get 4 points or 0,
or you lose. Two.
or you
We
lose
wanna-
4 points.
No,
You
no,
can
no.
activate a double.
We'll
can activate a double.
We can
I
figure
love
it.
it.
Out.
Are you
You
doubling?
love it?
Yeah, you got to do it.
Double.
So,
All right,
so,
so if
okay,
I-
yeah,
Are we all in?
yes,
Yep.
we're on.
All right, so I 304 yards for Josh Allen this week against the Seattle Seahawks. If he hits that exactly, I get 4 points. If he doesn't get that, how many do I lose? 2 or 4?
2.
2.
2.
2.
I think 2 is fair.
Mark it down. It's a lock.
All right,
Wow.
Double.
locking it in.
That's crazy.
That's great for me. Riggs 276, Frankie 268, Trent 304, Alex 307.
I can just see 304 on the stat ticker.
You're
Josh
looking at
Allen,
it, huh?
You know,
Just looking at it right now.
19
I
of
really hope you
21,
miss.
304 yards, 2 touchdowns,
4
interceptions.
touchdowns. He hasn't thrown a pick yet. Oh no.
Is that true?
Oh, you're an idiot. Yeah.
Wow,
It's a
I didn't
bad
realize
week
that
for
was
your
true.
boy.
Couple
That's
picks coming
fucking
in now.
Nuts.
Bad week for your boy. All right.
All right.
Closest to is in.
Push your boundaries at work, home, or on the golf course with Technique's true wireless advanced noise canceling headphones. Excuse me there, Trent. I want to talk about Techniques so much so that I'm not even wearing my Techniques right now, and it's driving me insane. I have them in luggage that is not at my house right now. I've been traveling. I went all around the world. We were in Missouri, and then we were in Hawaii, and somehow, some way, I do not have my Techniques on me, and it is changing my life. I miss my comfortable over the head. I don't use the AZ80 True Wireless earbuds, which Riggs does. I use the A800 over the head, super comfortable, very luscious and soft. It's like pillows on your head headphones, and they're noise canceling, and you guys sound incredible through them, and I miss them, so I can't wait to get them back. I talk about the AZ80 True Wireless earbuds. Riggs rocks those. He loves them. You can connect to 3 different devices seamlessly with these techniques. You can go from a meeting to listening to music to taking a phone call. You don't have to do anything. It tracks all of that. It connects to all of that. They're also available in black, silver, and now a striking midnight blue color. So make sure you go check that out. And if you like to go for those over-the-ear headphones that I wear, the A800 are designed with super soft ear pads and plush cushioned headband, delivering all-day comfort from office to the fairway, keeping you in the zone. These things sound incredible. I'm telling you, make sure you go check it out. Shop for Technique's true wireless lineup at us.techniques.com/foreplay. And just for foreplay listeners, get 10% off your next purchase. So make sure you go to that link. It's us.techniques, technics.com/foreplay. And only our listeners are going to get 10% off your next purchase. Make sure you go check it out.
Congrats to Jersey Jerry last night. He was able to strike an egg from, what was he, 30 yards out?
I don't know.
Something like that. He was struggling with the irons, then he went to a driver, which I saw a lot of people saying that's just like the trajectory of a driver swing. So I'd like to talk to our friend Jerry, and I mean, the challenge is just whatever he makes it, which always makes me laugh. Like, people are like, that's not the challenge. He's like, it's whatever I do. Like, there is no challenge unless I go on this video. So you guys don't get to decide on what is right and what is wrong. You didn't know anything about these rules or regulations about this challenge that I made up prior to me just coming on the screen. So you have no say into what I get to do. But I did laugh at everyone just being like, that's just a normal trajectory of a driver swing,
Right. Like, you didn't hit a stinger.
He was just able to take a regular driver swing and it would go that height, as opposed to like really trying to knock down a 5-iron or 7-iron or something, because that is a stinger. That's hard. Dude, the first half hour was him just hitting, he was just launching balls over balls, it.
Dude.
Just moon balls. Hitting a pitching wedge or whatever he was hitting. It's just impossible.
Got a 60 degree in his hand, like, I'm going to do this in no time.
I was traveling. I didn't know that this was going on. I just started getting texts from people that were mad, being like, you got to tell this guy. He's got to figure out a way to hit it low. They were like, this is going to be longer than the hole-in-one challenge. This guy's hitting
he had no
50
chance.
feet over the fucking egg.
He had no chance.
If I had woken up this morning and he were still hitting balls, I was going to call him. And I was just going to be like, just back foot whatever you got and hopefully it works out.
He had no chance. It was that conversation that we had about like setup. Like, he wasn't setting up for any type of success. He wasn't putting it on his back foot. He wasn't hitting the right club, and then he figured it out. So, shout out to Jersey Jerry.
Smoked that egg.
Smoked it, and then they took like 10 minutes to like see if he hit the egg. It's like they wanted
I was
to look.
Confused by that.
He's like, did I get it? It's like, dude, everything's in pieces.
He hit it in the front. He raised his arms and he says, I think I got it. And I'm like, I think so.
It exploded, dude. There's nothing in front of you anymore. It's gone.
Also busted the camera, I think.
Yeah. So funny.
Took out the camera.
Really?
I had yesterday I had TSA do something I'd never seen before. I don't know if you guys like TSA. They clearly went in. They left a little like note thing that they went into my bag, and then they clearly repacked my bag properly because I hadn't done it beforehand. And it's one of those. It's like a hard case, pretty big, like hard case rectangular suitcase, and it's got a compartment for, I would guess, like it appears to be boxers and socks and stuff that I just didn't use. When I just packed everything, I stacked everything, I did the little string thing over, and I just zipped it up and sent it on its way. When I opened it up, I guess the other compartment on the other side, they had taken all the boxers and all the socks and put them in there very nicely. And then the rest of like my pullovers and all that was stacked. And they didn't say, nobody said anything about it. There's not like a note that says we did this. Someone was clearly OCD'd as they were going through, being like, this fucking idiot doesn't know how to use his suitcase. And they like packed my suitcase properly for me.
There's a note and then it says, hey, I sniffed your underwear.
I don't like that.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get my bag back and like my clubs will be different. They'll be in different places and it's always strange when that happens. But I've never had someone reorganize my stuff.
It was funny because when we ship-sticked our clubs over to Big Cedar, when we opened it up, everything was there. Everything was perfect. Everything got there great. It's just when you could clearly tell that they, in the security, looked through the golf bag and some things were like put, because I remember looking for someone was looking for a rangefinder and they were saying that they always keep it like outside the case, and it was inside the rangefinder case. Like someone put it back, like a golfer knew, put it back. And he was like, I don't know where this thing is. And he like zipped it open. He's like, this is crazy. This is crazy. He's like, this thing's in here now. He's like, I know it wasn't because I just played yesterday before I sent it. I put it in this pocket. He's like, now it's in the actual case. It's like, I don't understand that. But they must have checked it because of the battery. The guy zipped it back open, put it in.
Yeah, are they checking my golf bag every time? Like, are they checking everybody's golf bag every time?
I don't know. It's interesting because I've gotten away with like putting in some crazy shit in my golf bag.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And like, dude, when we went back from Scotland, I put so much Scottish gin and whiskey in there. Like, I put so much scotch in my bag. I had so much alcohol in there.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, there's no way I can get on the plane, right? Like, you can't take liquids usually. I know you can usually get away with packing them and checking them, which is what I did, but it was crazy, dude. I remember taking like pillows from the hotel and like wrapping them around this, making sure they wouldn't. My whole golf bag was alcohol, and it got back no problem. So they must have not looked, or else they would have pulled that all.
It would take forever to look through all the bags, man. When you see on those conveyor belts and how many come out on any given flight, for them to actually open each one of those up, comb through it, make sure there's nothing in there dangerous, close it back up, put my underwear after you sniff it in the right packet. That would take them forever to do that, dude.
I mean,
we got to get back over to Scotland or Ireland because like we're doing all these damn trips over like to the West Coast. It's the same freaking flight, man.
Dude, I've been thinking we got to go back to Scotland. We got to play St. Andrews. I know Riggs did back in the day.
We have to
on video. We have
all-time clip.
All-time clip of that lady yelling. All time. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been like laying awake at night thinking I want to go back to Scotland because I want to play St. Andrews bad.
Yeah, I would love to play St. Andrews. The way I'm playing right now, a lot of that's like I really want to play.
Me too. Like I'm playing a little bit better, and it would be fun to like actually play that golf course. So
let's do it. Let's fucking go.
Just putting that out into the world. I mean, last time we played great golf course, we played Carnoustie last time we were there, but like we just happened to be too close to the Open Championship where everything was, they were doing practice rounds when we were there. So
feels like we probably missed the window this year. I bet it gets pretty nasty, right? I really don't know. Does it get like crazy cold over there?
I think so. I feel like when they did the Dunhill Links, that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and people looked like they were freezing during that. They got winter hats on. They got the whole, we were talking about the guys were showing up to the dinner with their Peter Millar gear, and they were wearing like coats at dinner.
Yeah,
I think that's a little dicey right now.
Might have to.
We should go. We should go to Ireland. I really want to play golf in Ireland, man. I think the Open's there next year.
We should just do both in one trip. Do St. Andrews and go to Ireland. I'd love to go back and play golf. I mean, I loved Ireland. I love the people. I'd love to spend another night in Dublin and go back to all the bars that we went to and the Temple Bar. Like, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to kind of do a whole tour of it. Definitely do like the south part, like the Cork area, and there's so much good golf. And yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing place. We got to schedule a whole trip there. I know we said that maybe we should do that with the good guys because we keep looking for places to go with them. There's such great company, and the videos are so much fun. All those matches out there, like imagine like an alternate shot match out in fucking Ireland coming down to 18 like it did.
Maybe that'll be our good trip next year.
It'd be great.
Wow, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Alternate shot is so awesome. It's so hard to get people to do it, and I understand because you go out, you pay the greens fee, you want to play your own ball the whole time. But I honestly think if people just started playing alternate shot more, it would start to wither away this desire to play your own ball all the time because it moves fast. Every shot is twice as intense because you're doing it for your buddy. You don't have a safety net. You don't have a cushion. You just got to like step up and hit the shot. And then you and your partner, like the fact that you just become for half the day the caddy for your partner, and then he becomes the caddy for you as you talk through shots. Where do you want me? It's like, oh, dude, it's fucking great. I can't wait for people to see a couple of the alternate shot videos from Hawaii because that format just delivers every time, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, for my buddy's trip, like you can't do it because everyone wants to play Big Cedar and they want to play all the golf course. They want to play Buffalo Ridge. They want to play Paynes Valley. You want to hit your own shots. So that's a hard thing to kind of put on to people, like you're saying. But like for next year, I'm thinking about where I want to go. I mean, Riggs mentioned Arcadia Bluffs. I actually have been really looking into that, and like they have 2 courses there. So if you play 4 rounds and you're like repeating a course, you really can like throw in that second round at the secondary course. Like that could be an alternate shot round where you're like, hey guys, we already played this. It's not Arcadia Bluffs. It's not on the ocean. Like it's more inland. Let's just do a really fun team format. I think everyone would be into that. You got to pick and choose your spots. And I think people will actually buy in. Or if you go to a place like in Michigan, the other one in Michigan that we went to,
Forest
Dunes, and you like go play the loop, and like you're gonna play it front ways and back ways, whatever. Like you can do an alternate shot going one way. You could do another way going another format coming back the other way. Like it's just you have to pick and choose the place to do it
for sure.
You're not going to get 16 guys that don't want to hit their own ball.
So on this trip, the Uncle Tony, which is a trip I've tried to do every year, I get invited to pretty much every year. Matt Janella puts the whole thing on. Tom Pashley's out here. It's a crew of like 22 people. It's awesome. I haven't been able to make it every year, but when I can, Matty G just does it right. I mean, he literally did like golf travel and buddies trips, content reporting for Golf Channel forever, Fire Pit Collective, the whole thing, and he sets this trip up perfectly. But one of the days, I think it's like Thursday. We play in the morning. We play in like Pacific Dunes. You have lunch. Then we go back out in the afternoon and we play the front 9 of Bandon Dunes in alternate shot. And it's just because we're playing Bandon on Saturday anyways. And he's like, we don't need to be doing 36 holes a day. Nobody wants that. You want to be able to sleep in a little bit, get ready for the day, take that one round really seriously. And then in the afternoon, you kind of mess around. And he throws alternate shot in there. I think that's probably a good way to do it. Because like you said, Frank, if you get people that you get your buddies, everybody takes off work, you fly all the way to Michigan or Bandon or Big Cedar or Cabot or wherever, Pinehurst. You don't want to be out there and be like, I'm only hitting every other shot. But I do think like a little 9-hole afternoon session or something is a great way to do it.
Totally. This episode is presented by Kraken, one of the longest standing and most secure crypto platforms in the world. Kraken is your guide to financial freedom, offering safe and simple access to crypto for all. Trusted by over 13 million individuals, traders, and institutions around the world, Kraken offers professional 24/7, 365 client support, along with one of the fastest, most performant trading platforms available. Crypto is the future. You've got presidential candidates talking about crypto. This is going to be our future, and it's one of those things that if you're too late, or if you're just very blindsided to all of these things and you don't want to look at it and you're turning the other way, you're going to be too late and you're just going to be left in the dust. Kraken, you got to get on Kraken because they are leading with transparency and trust, securing client funds, NFTs, and privacy through top-notch security. Like I said, 13 million individuals and traders and all institutions around the world are using this platform. Make sure you check it out. You got to get involved. This is not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Payward Interactive Inc. View legal disclosures at kraken.com/legal/disclosures. Go to kraken.com/barstool and see what crypto can be.
All right. I think we got the Postman.
JT.
What's up, JT?
What's up? Sorry about the issues with the Riverside stuff.
No worries.
You're good. This is
I told
totally
Riggs
fine.
yesterday I'm like 97 when it comes to technology and figuring a lot of this shit out. So right on cue.
As long as you got golf figured out, you don't have to figure out technology. You know what I mean?
Chose the right career. Chose the right
That's
career.
right.
Dude, you don't need any technology. You don't need to worry about it ever. You're living a dream where it's like we are technology, even though if we don't want to be at times, and social media and plugged in, you just gotta hit good golf shots, dude. Just hit good golf shots.
That's it.
We rolling here?
Yeah, let's just roll. Let's roll right
just
into
do
this
it.
thing. We talked about it right off the top. We did a little intro before you joined in, but we got 3-time PGA Tour winner coming off a win in Vegas at the Shriners. It's now Wednesday when we're recording this, JT. How's your recovery level? Do you wear a Whoop right now? Do you wear a Whoop? Do you measure your recovery?
I do not wear a Whoop. I'm actually in the process of getting one though, so probably a good thing I didn't have that thing on after this past few days. Yeah, if you're gonna win a golf tournament, Vegas is a pretty good spot to do it. We didn't sleep. I did the classic, went and celebrated and had a 7 a.m. flight and went back to the room and had about 30 minutes before I needed to leave the airport. So I showered, brushed my teeth, and went to the airport.
That is a great spot, especially for PGA Tour. Like you wouldn't, now that all these other professional sports leagues are going to Vegas, that's become like a huge thing where guys want to spend that next day in Vegas, or for the football team, like they want to spend that celebratory Sunday night in Vegas after they play the Raiders. For golf, like you really don't think about your guys' tour like coming through Vegas like that, but to be able to be the guy that wins there, that's pretty elite. That's probably up there aside from all the like the historically awesome wins. That's got to be up there as the best place, one of the best places to win on the tour.
Oh yeah, it was a blast. I mean, Fleener's really good boys with Dustin Lynch, and he was performing that night at the Win, and so it was all
Awesome.
lined up for us. We did a big
Incredible.
dinner, and then gambled a little bit, and went and saw him, and just kept the party rolling. I think Fleener still hadn't slept. It sounds like talking to him, but man, it was so much fun.
It's nice winning there too, because in golf, like you're done. You know, like if you go and you're playing the NFL or you're playing the NHL and then like you have a game, you know, it's most likely in season, and then within like a few days you got to be somewhere ready for another game. And I get that you're going to play more golf, but like once, you know, tournaments are so like when it's done, it's done. You did the thing, it's over. You won, you beat everybody, you got paid, you made money, you got a trophy. It's like you just get to do whatever you want at that point.
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I were talking like it's kind of nice. We've got a month off now between the Win and when I'm going to play again. So we got all kinds of time to celebrate here at Hang this week, and then recover a little bit probably. And yeah, I mean, we're going to hang in here at home, hanging with our 7-month-old daughter, watching some football, just kind of relaxing here this week and celebrating. So it's been pretty perfect.
Where you are now looks beautiful. Where's
nice
home?
high trees.
This is Sea Island. Yeah, it's our backyard here in Sea Island. We got a nice little corner of property just across the street in the retreat neighborhood, and yeah, this is home.
We've never been to Sea Island. Never been there.
Y'all gotta make the trip. Golf heaven, man. A lot of good golf, good hang.
Looks real nice.
It's a sneaky. I guess that's one we didn't mention. We were talking about big town cities where the most pro golfers live, and I don't think we mentioned Sea Island. I feel like there's a lot of guys there.
It's a sneaky little hub. I think there's probably 12 to 14, 15 of us that are on tour, all different kind of stages in their career, but all guys that play or have played on PGA Tour. And then there's another maybe 10 or 12 mini tour guys that are either Korn Ferry or developmental tours trying to work their way up. So it's a good group, always competitive. It's not hard to get some matches going, which is always nice. Keeps us fresh for a tournament.
I'm always curious about this. So it's been a couple days since you won. You guys play all the time. You play dozens of tournaments a year. The whole goal is to win. That's why you tee it up. Do you, in these couple days since, sit around and reflect on like, that's why I won? Like that is why this last week it was different than all those other weeks that I don't win?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a reflection of like, what did I do differently that clicked? And the funny thing is, sometimes you win, and it's like it's so easy to pinpoint that, and you're like, I made this adjustment, swing or whatever. My short game was good, my putting was good, and this past week I feel like it was kind of one of those. I just played solid. There wasn't anything that stuck out too much to me, and I guess did the best job of avoiding making mistakes. And obviously there's a lot of birdies out there. I was able to make some of those, and I don't know. I came out on top, but it's been hard to kind of pinpoint like what that difference maker was. I think a big part of it was just having the break that I did before. I think mentally I was pretty fresh and low expectations, not playing 6-7 weeks coming in, and it was almost kind of a surprise. Like, okay, I'm actually, I'm playing good. Game feels nice, and just kind of keep rolling with it.
Yeah, golf's interesting in that fact that you could just play your game and that could end up being tied for 12th, or that could be a win depending on how the rest of the guys in the field do. It's not another sport where you need to be on top of your game against one specific person. Like you're saying, like you didn't even really feel anything differently probably from other times you go out there, but you look at the leaderboard and you're in first and you're like, oh shit, okay, like let's keep this thing rolling. That's got to be like the blessing and the curse of golf, right? Because you could feel like you're on top of the world, you could feel like you're having your game, and that doesn't mean that you come away with a victory. But then those 3 times for you that it's popped out, like, all right, like we're doing something right here. That's got to be a mentally taxing way to go about your day, knowing that like what you just did to win next week could you could end up, I don't know, T19. You know what I mean? It just depends on how the field just shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have those weeks where you come into the week and you're hitting it great, and you're like, man, everything's clicking. I'm playing great, and you go out there and you play unbelievable golf, and you look at the leaderboard and you're like, I finished 15th.
Right.
You're like, there's 14 guys that beat me, and then there's other weeks where you're like, man, I really felt like I obviously played well, but I really didn't do this very good, or didn't putt good, or didn't drive it good, but I finished 4th, and it's like just kind of how it shakes out sometimes. That's golf. That's the best all you can do is just try and show up and play as well as you can. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of a crapshoot, and sometimes you play well and one other guy has an even better week and beats you. So it's just, you never know.
Do you feel now that you've been able to secure multiple wins that's helping you go each week, or do you still feel like the same JT Poston that started on tour? That are you still mentally the same person, or do you feel like you've gained some knowledge on like how to close out tournaments?
I definitely feel like I've gained that, kind of learned that it's definitely a learning curve. When you're trying to win the first one, you've never done it. There's always that little bit of doubt in the back of your mind, like, can I win out here? I feel like I can. I see how my game stacks up, but I haven't done it yet. And then once you get that first one, you're trying to get the second one to kind of prove to yourself that the first one wasn't a fluke, and you're able to do this multiple times. And now that we've gotten our third, I feel like it's something that I'm constantly learning as I go. But I can certainly see myself, like, when I get in that position, I know how to win. I know how to close it out, and I'll definitely like lean on that whenever it happens again.
Was there a big moment of doubt in this one that like you like stood over a shot and you're like, I can't do this, and then you ended up like surprising yourself? Like we talked about, I just went on a buddy's trip and I came down 18 in a huge Ryder Cup at Big Cedar Lodge, and like we'd played for 4 days. I'm playing against my buddy. I wrote in the fucking email that if I lose to this guy, I'm quitting golf forever because we have such a like rivalry in the game. And I came down to 18. I went for the green in 2, hit it into a greenside bunker. He laid up, and the ball kind of got stuck like up on like the face of the bunker, and I stood in it. I'm a lefty and I had a weird stance, and I remember thinking over that ball, like, I can't do this. Like I'm going to fuck this up. And I bladed it into the trees and lost the match. Like, obviously not comparing that to like, but like there's moments that like you need to step up and be like, I can do this. When you're like going to win a professional tournament, is that doubt ever like creeping into you, or are you so grizzled and so professional at this point that you're like, of course I'm going to get this up and down. Of course I'm going to win because I am a winner. I am a professional golf champion.
It's honestly a little bit of I think it's natural to have those sort of negative thoughts or doubts, like, but also that's something that like we work on at this level, and something that I've honestly been working on for the last I don't know, years, like recognizing those types of thoughts and being able to say like, okay, the flip side of that is I've hit a bunch of amazing shots under the gun, under the pressure, and like all throughout my professional career, amateur career, college career, and like you just being able to recognize that and being like, okay, that's normal, forget about it, let's focus on, how do I hit this as good as I possibly can. But yeah, I mean, when you're trying to close a golf tournament, there's definitely, where the trouble is, like, I mean, coming down the stretch in Vegas, like 16, you're going for a par 5 over water. 17, there's trouble kind of lurking there. 18 off the tee and into the green. There's definitely ways where you can make a big number. So you're certainly aware of that, but you kind of circle back to like, okay, I've hit this shot 1,000 times. I've had that 4-footer. I've made 1 million of those before, and that's what I'm telling myself when I've got that 4-footer to win after missing those 2 on 16 and 17 is like, I've made 1 million of these, forget about those 2. Like, you've got a 4-footer to win a PGA Tour event, just knock it in.
Are you guys talking about water? Are you even saying like there's water there, let's not hit it? Or are you saying like just hit the shot right there? You're not even
Fleener says
it up,
water,
right?
you're just going to slap him. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm going to throw him in the water if he says that. No, it's one of those things, like, we're both fully aware of it, but you're kind of just like, when we're going through our process, we're just talking about like, how do we want to execute the shot that we want to hit? Now, the shot that we want to hit might be aiming a pretty good ways away from the trouble, or like being smart, hitting the fat part of the green. Like we're not trying to hit it 5 feet on 18, but we're not sitting there saying like, hey man, like just don't hit this in the water, because as soon as you say that, like my eyes go immediately to the water instead of like, hey man, hit this right at the TV tower. And that's kind of where your focus goes.
What a clip that would be if you're on the tee and Fleeter just looks at you, he's like,
Fleeter, you
don't
got anything?
hit
He's
the
just
water,
don't hit
dude.
this in the water,
I'm
dude.
telling you, the water's bad.
That water's going to
Yeah.
really ruin our day.
You say
Yeah.
you've been working on that for the last year or so. Is that something that you only can learn while you're playing in a tournament and going through it? Or can you, like when you're playing a practice round at home, can you visualize like, all right, I'm at a tournament, I'm on 18, I got to make a birdie, or I got to make a par. Like, is that something you can do, or is it only in the actual moments that you can learn those things?
Yeah, you can definitely replicate that at home. Like I said, we play a lot of matches at home, so like that's one way where you're trying to find ways where you can have a shot that matters, have a putt that matters, and then you're stepping up and you're hitting and executing that shot. Obviously, nothing's going to be quite the same as actually the tournament atmosphere, but it's something that we're always constantly trying to do. And how can I replicate those maybe a little bit of nerves, or really wanting to make this specific putt, or really having a birdie 18 or something like that. And yeah, I mean, here at home we do it a bunch, and it obviously, I think it helps.
We're here to we're gonna take a little break in the podcast here to talk about a product that I currently use. That I would say that it's life changing. Okay, Trent, I'm going to talk to you about this thing called the Tushy. All right,
I want to hear
we
all
talk
about
a lot about our butts. We talk a lot about going to the bathroom. We're disgusting human beings. We're pathetic. I'm telling you right now. They want me to say spooky season is upon us, but there's no reason your bathroom routine should give you the chills. I'm telling you right now, dude. This bidet action at Tushy. I put this on my toilet. I have a Tushy. Okay.
Yep.
It's a modern bidet attachment that uses a stream of fresh water for a complete and soothing clean. Bro, it has changed my life.
Really?
Okay? Oh my God, dude. I hooked it up myself. I hooked up my Tushy myself. It was so easy. I had a Tushy. I bought a Tushy on a like Black Friday's deal last. Like I've had this thing for a while. Like I am a Tushy fanatic. Okay. I think I even have a t-shirt that says show me your butthole. It came with it. It's crazy. I would never wear it in public, but it's a crazy t-shirt. But I have it and it makes people laugh. It's a bidet. It easily attaches to your existing toilet. You don't need any additional plumbing. This is all true, or electricity. It hooks right up to the water that's already going through your toilet, and it shoots water right into your butt. And I'm telling you right now, Trent, when you are in a pinch and you need to just clean that thing up quickly, and you just want to make sure that it's all going to get clean down there, they're taking you into the future in terms of clean buttocks. Okay, Trent, it changes your life. You do your business, you get this little dial next to you, and it shoots it up, and it feels good.
Oh,
it feels real good.
That I believe.
Okay, and it cleans you out. Like I'm getting this thing to come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I'm like a water spout.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're a fountain. You're one of
Clean
those
me
little
out.
fountains in
I'm
the
a
park.
fountain. Like I want to be a park water spout. I want people to come up to. I want people to come up to me parched.
You want people throwing pennies at you.
I want people throwing pennies. I also want people to turn the knob and I go, and I'm like shooting it out.
Listen, it sounds like clean living. I like that, and that's
Trent,
what you're
you
really
have no
looking
idea,
for.
man. Like
it's clean living.
Like you can do whatever you want in there. You can make as much of a mess as you want, and then all of a sudden you're just getting hit with a fire hose.
Nice,
bro. The water speed is insane. It's crazy. So I'm going to get to the rest of this. Installation is simple. It takes you less time than it does for you to take a dump, which is true. The Tushy bidet attachment comes with a nozzle adjuster, which I talk about to find the best angle. So if you want to go forward, if you want to go back, it's got all these things. They also have a premium version that I know of. I don't know if they want me to get to that, but they have a premium version that you can actually hook up to the hot water in there, and then you can make it warm. It's unbelievable. I actually like it cold because it wakes you up in the morning. It's fresh. You got a fresh, cold butthole, and it's great. So stop flushing your money down the toilet and make that one-time purchase for a lifetime of cleanliness. I'm telling you guys, the Tushy, T-U-S-H-Y, is the greatest product I've ever had in the bathroom. I'm telling you right now, it's life-changing. It's time to ditch old toilet paper and finally feel shower fresh with Hello Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off. I didn't have this luxury, okay? I bought this on my own. 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code fore-play, F-O-R-E-P-L-A-Y, at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com. So make sure you go into hellotushy.com and you're using code fore-play. Your butt is going to be in such, dude, and this is a very affordable product for how incredible and how life-changing this is going to be, okay? So let's just move on from this. Everyone get a Tushy and talk to me about it. I want tweets. Don't send me videos. I want tweets. I want messages about how much this has changed your life. Tushy, this is the greatest thing. Go to hellotushy.com. Use code fore-play.
You and Fleener are good buddies out there. Did he have any big moments this week? Any times when he kind of stepped up and something that you'll kind of take away from his caddying job when you look back on this win?
Yeah, he actually, the one that comes to mind, so 16, we had restarted the third round. We had 5 holes left early Sunday. And we were tied for the lead with 5 to go in the third round. And I was like, I really want to get out there and like make some birdies, grab a lead, maybe a couple shot lead. And we birdied 14, we birdied 15 right out of the gate, 16, I hit one right down the middle. And we've got a 2-shot lead at this point, trying to close off this third round. And we were in between clubs, and he kind of talked me into, like, I was originally on a 6-iron. He kind of talked me into a 5. I didn't put a good swing on it. I didn't trust it. Whatever. It was probably not the right club. And he owned up to it. He's really good about that. He's like, man, that's on me. He's like, that was a bad club. We should have stayed aggressive. Like, it's the third round. We don't need to be playing pre-event right now with, 20 holes left in this golf tournament. And so I don't get it up and down and make par on an easy par 5. We go to 17, next hole, another in between clubs. I'm kind of thinking 7-iron. He's like, dude, I think there's a little hurt up there. I don't think it's 7. I think you got to hit the little 6. I was like, all right, I trust you. Hit it 6, hit a great shot in there to like 10 feet. Didn't end up making a putt, but that was the one that it was like, okay, immediately we're right. But I could have easily said, you messed up that last one. Like, I'm not going to listen to you on this one. And like, do my own thing to finish off this third round. But we've obviously done it for a long time. We've been together for a long time. So I trust him. I know either of us are perfect. And I feel like that kind of set the tone for the rest of the day, where it was like we were right back into a team.
That
I would
takes
have
some
caved.
balls, man.
I
would have been
caved
agreeing
so
with
fast.
everything you said going forward. Everything.
Hey, yeah, that's the hard part about his job is it's easy to be a yes man, but you gotta step up. You gotta step in there sometimes, and because we can kind of get in our own heads as players and either get too aggressive or too conservative, or whatever it may be. And he's really good at knowing when to pipe up and when to kind of let me do my thing.
Would have been funny after you missed the putt if he was like, well, if you'd have made the putt, it would have been really would have been something there.
Yeah. I wanted to. I did. I wanted to especially after we parred 16. But
if he would have been like, hey, you know how that club was on me a couple holes ago? That putt was on you. He's like, that was terrible. You got to make that.
He likes to say, if you miss short or long, that's on me. If you miss right or left, that's on you, which is pretty fair.
That's fair.
When you're preparing for a tournament, if you're home for the next month and you're working on your game and you're in matches, like how often are you communicating with him about like where your game is at, or is it up to him from Tuesday to Thursday to kind of see where your current game is at for that tournament, right? Because for me, I would see that that's kind of hard for a caddy to be like, all right, this guy's coming in with a whole new game plan. He's coming in with a whole new swing thought. Does that change like your approach to a 7 or a 6? Have you figured something out that maybe you're flighting a 6 more, or you're leaning off of one? Like, does he know all this information, or is this something that he's got to catch on the fly? And are you changing your game from week to week enough that it would actually make him like stay on his toes like that?
A lot of times there's not. I mean, when we're off and I'm at home and he's at home, like there's not a whole lot of communication on like golf. If there is something that changes, like I'm working on something with my swing with my coach or or whatever it may be, different feels. I'm definitely telling him that as I'm doing it so that he's aware. But a lot of that prep and like kind of how I'm hitting it that week, we're kind of getting a feel for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before the tournament starts. So like you're coming into the week, and especially, I mean, this scenario, we've been off for 7 weeks. So like neither of us really knew how I was going to play, or, you know, I knew I was hitting it at home and I was telling him, man, I feel like I'm hitting it pretty good, almost kind of surprising myself. But then we got there and it was just kind of like, all right, you know, how far is the ball going? How are you hitting it now with a little bit more tournament speed? And but as far as like the off weeks, like especially in the middle of the season, it's kind of just like a reset for both of us, and then we show back up at a tournament. It's like Monday we hit the ground running again.
Do you see that your swing changes that much, like from 7 weeks prior to that? Like, did you notice a lot of differences?
You know, it's more just a feel. Like when you aren't playing, I mean, if I go 3 days without touching a golf club, I can tell the difference in how it feels. Like it
That's
just
so
does.
crazy
It
to me.
feels foreign. It feels a little foreign. It feels a little heavy or light, or like it just doesn't. It feels like your timing's off. And so when you take that much
How we
time
feel
off,
every day.
yeah, it's not a good feeling. But it's one of those, like, you know it when you take that much time off, and so you just give yourself enough time to kind of shake that rust off and beat a bunch of balls, you know, get some practice in, get some reps in, and then you know when you show up at the tournament, you're gonna be able to figure something out.
You ever hit one left and he hits you with like you're lined up there, man? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's, like I said, we've been working together for 8 years now, 7-8 years. So like he's seen my golf swing changes over the years. He's seen, you know, little tweaks here and there. He knows my tendencies. Like I tend to you know, get aimed up a little left. I tend to do this in my golf swing. He's been there enough with like my coach that even if my coach isn't there, he can say, hey, I think this is a little bit off, like your alignment or this takeaway, or like things that he's heard us talk about and work on in the past that are definitely tendencies of mine. And a lot of times he's right, where like I'll be a little bit off and I'll kind of ask him, do you see anything that looks a little different? And he's like, I think you might be this, and I'll tweak it, and then, you know, next 5 drivers are money. And so he's pretty spot on a lot of times with the golf swing.
Yeah. That's,
When you're standing over a golf ball, are you talking to yourself? Or like, what are you saying right before you take that club back? Are you thinking exactly what you have to do? Do you have a swing
don't hit it in
thought?
the water. Don't hit it in
No,
the
just
water.
like,
Definitely
like,
not that.
is there like, are you like, all right, JT, like we're right here in the, like, are you talking to yourself? Do you hear your voice in there?
Yeah, I mean, like the self-talk is like, it's a lot of times it's focused on, you know, what I'm trying to do with this golf swing. Like I'm hit, like a lot of times Cleaner and I are talking about a certain number, like, all right, we're hitting this 7-iron 175 yards, or like we're taking a little bit off, so it's a 172 now. So like I have that number in my head going over and over and over and over again, and so that's kind of just like, all right, 172, like that's probably the majority of the self-talk and the what I'm telling myself. But, you know, certainly every now and then there's like a, you know, you kind of guide one, like don't hit it left in the water. Don't hit it, you know,
Right.
Don't make the big mistake, you know, be smart sort of
So
thing.
there's no like turn your hips and make sure the like, you know, for us amateurs, we have a million different, like right before I swing, I'm like, Frankie, make sure you like.
We might have
turn
made a
on this.
mistake letting Frankie talk to JT Poston. He's going to
Yeah.
No, actually,
in his grill.
No, you're spot on. Like a lot of my, all 3 of my wins, a lot of my best weeks, I have one little like swing thought. And, you know, this past week was no different. I was like a little takeaway thing, just trying to keep the club outside my hands for the first little bit of the takeaway. So pretty much every single swing this week, that was kind of my trigger, like my
I love that.
thought is, I was like,
Yeah, that's
that's how I'm going. And it kind of set up the rest of the swing, and then I could just let it go.
When I feel, and we're the worst golfers in the world, but when I feel like I'm playing well, I'm reminding myself about a swing thought that worked for me. And then when I hit a shot, I'll be sitting in the cart and I'll be like, I didn't think about anything on that. I just went up there and swung. Like, why? And then the next hole, I fix it. and I hit a perfect little draw, and I'm like, well, why have I been hitting this like fade the whole day? There's something that gets me to that position that hits that draw. Like, I want that again. Why do I not think that way? So it's gotta be like for you guys at that level to remember to do that process. I work with Dr. Brett McCabe all the time. We did videos, and I'm sure you see him down there, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's the process is so damn important. And for me, it's like, it's secondary. I forget about it. He wrote it on my glove, process, like look down and just do it. And it sounds so stupid, but like there's a reason why that works. And I don't do it enough. Amateur golfers don't do it enough. We don't have a process. We don't have a setup. We don't set ourselves up for success. Sure, you have a better swing than me. You're just athletically way better at the game of golf than me, but you also have everything pre-swing. You're just nailing. You know what I mean? Like you're just doing the right stuff, and we don't.
Yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, it's easy to get caught up and you start playing golf swing and you worry about all the different positions and is everything perfect? And the reality is like you are an athlete and like you can go out there and make the ball do what you want it to do. But for us, I feel like those little keys, those little triggers are huge. And like you said, it's part of that process of, every shot that you hit, you're going through a number, you're picking it up. Like for Aaron and I, we're picking a number, we're picking a target, and then I've got this, one little swing thought that kind of is my trigger to let it go.
It would be amazing if Elon Musk ever comes up with a technology where you can hear what people are thinking, what people are thinking over a ball. Like that would, like, what's Tiger thinking? What's JT Poston thinking? What's Frankie Borelli thinking? Like that would be an incredible.
Be incredible.
Rory's explodes on the 18th green of the U.S. Open. It's just like the whole thing like decombusts. And
it would be unbelievable.
Smoke comes out.
Because it is interesting to think like, what are you thinking over a ball? Because it could be a million things, or it could be nothing.
I don't think I'd be smart enough to hear what Bryson's thinking about. Talking about the U.S. Open, I don't think I could follow that, but that would be pretty interesting. I mean, you get a lot of good insight on where guys are coming down the stretch and guys that are winning and guys that are folding, and it'd be pretty cool.
You get like DJs is just nothing. It's just like literally nothing. It's
blank. Might be the best though. I was thinking Tiger would be nothing too. He's just like, all right, I'm just gonna, here we go.
I've done this 82 times. Yeah.
Right.
Imagine he has self-talk. It's like, you're the fucking man.
Dude, that would work.
You're gonna make this because you're the best ever. And he's just like talking to himself. That would be a commercial every single day, like on TV, just how cocky and incredible his self-talk is.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot better than a lot of other things. I mean, you gotta have confidence in yourself, and he's obviously the best to ever do it. So why wouldn't you be confident in that?
Rocket Money. Most Americans think that they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but get this, Trent.
Yeah.
The real number is closer to $300 on monthly subscriptions. Damn. That is literally thousands of dollars a year, half of which we've probably forgotten about. I know I have. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. With Rocket Money, you have full control over your subscriptions and a clear view of your expenses. It's very easy to become financially healthy with Rocket Money. I'm telling you, you're going to have a full overview of everything you're doing, all of the subscriptions that you have, all of the money that you're spending in places that you don't want to be spending it. You can see everything all in one place. It's super easy. With just a few taps, you can cancel these unwanted subscriptions and just see everything itemized in a way that you would never be able to see it with all the different apps that you have. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting your money on things that you do not use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/4, F-O-R-E. That's rocketmoney.com/4, rocketmoney.com/4.
So we started out this show talking about how you were going to be on here. We called you the Postman, and that sent us on a conversation about nicknames in golf and how there just don't seem to be that many anymore. We talked about the Golden Bear, the Black Knight, the King, like those are the old guys. The Shark,
the
Big
Walrus.
Easy.
Do you know the Walrus?
Boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but then like this generation of golfers doesn't seem to have nicknames. You have one, and it's likely the best one in the game. But you might not have an answer to this. But why do you think there's no longer nicknames in golf?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know if it's just I mean, when I think about where mine came from Keith Mitchell. He started calling me that on the Corn Ferry Tour, and it just sort of stuck. I don't know if it has something to do with the camaraderie and the community, like within the golf world. I feel like I mean, you hear stories about like back in the day, everybody used to grab beers and like hang out after the rounds. And like, these days everybody's a lot more focused and like they're in their own little bubble and have their own little team. Like you're kind of doing your own thing. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but my nickname came from one of my best friends on tour, and like we always we hang out like that. And then once people start to hear it, it's just sort of sticks. So I don't know.
I think that's a great point, because part of our conversation was, where do these nicknames come from? Who is it on to come up with these? Is it the announcers during a broadcast? Is it us on this podcast? But you're saying it came from guys going out, grabbing a couple drinks, having a friendship, and then it just bleeds into people probably, reporters hear it on the range and then they use it and it just goes. I actually think that you might be onto something there. That's where they come from. And it does seem like nowadays everybody's so in their own bubble. They're tunnel vision. They're going to the gym. They're going to the range, and then they're going back and they're hanging out with their family or whatever. Those nicknames don't have a chance to sort of get out there in the ether.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about some of the other ones out there, but I know like for me, that was kind of how it came about. I mean, Keith, same thing, like Cashmere Keith is a pretty good one out there. Like that comes from a lot of his friends and guys. He likes the finer things in life. So like that one kind of stuck too. And yeah, I think people hear them and it just sort of sticks. Yeah.
Keith. That's a good one.
What are some?
There's a lot we didn't think of.
What are some nicknames? Yeah, on tour that now that maybe the general public doesn't know. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like, are there any floating out there that maybe we should start to hook into?
The only other one that I can think of off the top of my head, I mean, Harry Higgs, Big Rig is a
good one.
Is a pretty good one. That's the only other one I can think of. Him and Cashmere Keith are the two that I feel like
those are two solid names,
have stuck and are
but
good
you're bringing home the point that we were talking about. It's just not really a part of this generation, and it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I don't really know why that is, and I don't know. I mean, maybe there'll be more to come, or maybe it's just kind of a long gone thing. But it's I like the Postman nickname. I mean, I feel like it's good. I feel like we've kind of leaned into it. We get a lot of shouts from crowds and stuff in the tournaments, which is fun, and yeah, we have a blast with it.
We need more nicknames, man. I think you made a great point that it really does come from the guys busting balls with each other.
Yeah.
And, if you think like a lot in most sports, I feel like a lot of the nicknames come from the locker room, from like the other guys. You know what I mean? Just
the good ones that stick. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just chilling these next several weeks. That's got to be just a great place to be living right now.
Yeah, we've got I've got one outing. And then I've got a boys golf trip that we do every year with my old college teammates. So we're gonna do that. And outside of that, it's kind of hanging at home and celebrating this week and just back to dad life, back to home life, and chilling.
Do you guys do they make you handicap that boys golf trip? Because I mean, imagine if they all played college golf.
No, I mean, some of those guys still have some games. Some of them don't play that much anymore, and so we keep it pretty friendly. There'll be a bet of some sort, but we try and get it to where it's competitive and some strokes. But a lot of times it's just a lot of trash talk, and it's we're out having a blast, having a bunch of drinks and dinners, and it's classic golf trip. The matches are kind of second to the hang and the whole weekend.
Try to get some sleep, There
was a lot of
trips.
Probably won't.
No,
yeah.
There was a lot of talk about handicaps.
Like
when Justin Thomas was asked at one of the tournaments about like, do you give strokes or whatever it is, and he's like, a lot of these guys, like if you play a match at your home course with all these guys, you said there's like 12 to 14 tour members, like you guys aren't giving each other pops, right? I mean, that would be insane if someone stepped up to a tee and was like, "You want one today?" Like that would be insane.
it'd be kind of a slap in the face. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if one of my fellow tour members was like, "Hey, you don't want a shot aside?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna give you a shot aside, and I'm gonna beat your
Right.
ass." And
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah,
Now we're fist
but-
fighting on the tee box is what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, exactly.
Incredible. What's what term? So going into next year, obviously you get the win. You're gonna be able to play pretty much wherever the hell you want. What what tournaments on the schedule get you most fired up?
I mean, obviously, like the way it is now, the signature events, the majors. I mean, obviously I wasn't in the Masters, so that gets me in the Masters. That's always number one. Obviously the majors. I mean, I feel like I'm at that point in my career now where like I want to start contending in those big ones. I want to give myself, you know, get myself in that atmosphere, get myself in that position where I can experience coming down the stretch in a major and having a chance. And so I feel like I'm at that point now where like, okay, it's time to start playing well in these big events. And but yeah, I mean, Hilton Head is one of my favorites. That's a signature event. I've played well there. That's definitely one that's on the list. I love
Place
Riv.
is tight, man. That place
It's
is tight.
so tight.
We played in that goddamn
That's right up my
Pro-Am.
alley.
Dude, that place
That is
was
tight.
a nightmare. Like,
I know.
It was fun though.
it's so much fun, and what a beautiful golf course. I can't even imagine playing from how far back you guys play that thing. Those par threes are a nightmare, and they're little
Yeah.
greens. Oh my God. You
that
can't.
fourth hole.
That fourth
hole's tough.
hole. How far does that play for you guys?
It's like 100. I'm gonna say 190 yards, maybe.
But
It's usually like a
can't miss the
6
green.
iron or so. Yeah,
Oh man.
It's
tough.
fun, but it's tight.
it's tough. Yeah, it is. But I like it. I mean, it's one that I'm a North Carolina guy, so it's kind of close to home. I'm familiar with the grass and all that. I love the golf course, and I've played well on it. So that's definitely one that I feel like
That helps.
in my career at some point I'm gonna have a really good chance to win, or I think I can win that one for sure.
Trent hit the ceremonial first shot and I pulled the cannon. It was so much fun.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was nuts.
How loud is that?
It's
I
the
mean,
loudest thing
Really
ever.
loud. Really loud.
I mean, I couldn't imagine standing right next to it. I've
We
been
have
on
to
the
wear
green
earplugs.
or on the. You do, okay. I mean, I would hope.
Jesus.
I feel like he wouldn't be able to hear if he didn't.
I topped it.
Yeah, he topped it. He topped it right into
Topped
the
the
marsh.
shot.
It was crazy.
I feel like I would miss it. I mean, I feel like I
They
would.
put it on
swing
a
and miss it.
big. They put it on a big pile of sand, which you would think I would go under it, but no. I went over top of that bad boy. But it's really loud. Really loud.
Well, right. We talk about swing thoughts. Right before Trent hit, I was standing there with the pin in my hand, ready to pull this thing, and I said, "Don't hit the sand." Like I whispered it to him, like, "Don't
Yeah.
hit under this thing." So then Trent's staring at this ball that's
Yeah,
like
it's like
3 or 4 times higher than he usually tees it up with a little old. You were using like a
Old
Like
hickory.
a persimmon
Old
head, or
hickory,
a,
yeah.
persimmon. Yeah.
So like he tried to to meet the ball way higher than he's used to, and he barely made contact. I mean, it was one of the funniest
Yeah. Again,
swings in
I've said it
fore-play
before, but
history.
who needs enemies when you got friends like
So-
that who are just whispering swing thoughts in your ear, right?
yeah. There you go. Setting you up for failure there.
Oh man,
Incredible.
Yeah,
That is a
Amazing.
great tournament, though. Great tournament.
It's one of my favorites.
Do you start like now that you're into the Masters, do you find yourself even starting to like mentally think about it and prepare for it and think about shots you got to hit and how you're going to get geared up going into April?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously favorite tournament of the year, and it's just like you start thinking about that back nine and all the shots that you got to hit, and like even like early in the week getting there, practice rounds are so much fun. A lot of times I'll play a match with some buddies and like on like Monday or Tuesday, which is always fun. Like getting to do that at Augusta National at the Masters is a dream. And so just every part of the week, like you got the practice rounds, you got the par 3, and then obviously the tournament. It's just an exciting week. And so, yeah, I mean, immediately, with that win, you get the invite and you immediately start thinking, I can't wait to get there.
I remember, I think it was Frankie who said to like Scotty Scheffler a few years ago, where we were a couple weeks out before the Masters, and he was like, dude, we get so excited even thinking that we get the privilege to watch the Masters on TV. And then we get excited about the thought of like, we're going to be there for a day on Tuesday or whatever it is. We're going to get to like see the Masters in person. And then he was like, I can't even imagine what it feels like to be you, where you get to go and you can contend and win the Masters. Like you have a chance to win the Masters.
he went and
just
won it.
And then he went and won it, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just got to be like you even just talking about how Like, I can't wait to watch people try to hit those shots down the back nine, and you're sitting there on your plane flight home after no sleep, thinking like, all right, I'm gonna hit those shots.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know you're gonna get those chances. You know you're gonna have a chance to, you know, hit one close on 12. You know, hit one around the corner on 13, 15, 16 on Sunday using the slope. Like all those things that you've seen on TV over and over and over again. You're gonna be walking inside the ropes. You're gonna get your chance to hit them, and it's so cool. And there's just nothing that can beat that week. It's the best week of the year.
And the other thing to think about, which I don't want to put too much on your plate here, where it's like
we're putting a lot on JT's.
Well, like, you know,
we tried
and
to
I
ruin
said
him
this,
mentally, too.
we said this to Scotty, and he ended up winning the damn thing. But it's like there is this. You guys get to do this thing where in 30 years you're going to look back and you're going to look at the winners of all these tournaments and all of this history. You're going to see the Masters, and you're going to see the years 2024, 2025, and there's going to be all these names on it. You're currently living in our current time where that has not happened yet, and you get to go affect what is going to happen. Like, we just get to watch it. And even in our lives as podcasters and YouTubers, like, we're never in anything that like we have to go try and achieve a win. Like Trent tries to go break 90, he goes try to break 85. Like, those moments for us are like, all right, we're going to go out there, and if this happens, it's going to be a huge moment. Like, but we're standing on this first tee. Everything we do today affects that history of our own history. You get to go play in the Masters. Every swing you take, you can go win the Masters. Like, you get to go actually try and achieve that history. You're currently living in that time right now. There's going to be a time where you look back and be like, that was insane that I got to play there. Yeah. You're about to go do that in a couple months. That's crazy to me. I don't want it to be too much for you, but like, that's incredible though. Also to be able to like harness that energy and be like, if I have 4 great days, that's history.
Yeah.
That's fucking
and
awesome.
We all know it. I mean, we all know it, and you're going into the week, you know what's at stake, you know.
Of course.
And you almost have to like calm yourself down or like not get ahead. Like it's something that you have to like actively think about and work on. Is like, I cannot get ahead of myself. Like,
no.
You know, you birdied the second hole on Thursday, and you're like, I'm going to win the Masters. and then you're like, you know, you're the third group off, and it's like your name's at the top of the leaderboard. You're like, I'm going to win. And
I would screenshot.
It's so easy to be that way, and you're just like, I gotta take 3 steps back, and like, you know, I got some hard holes coming up. Like, let's relax.
That's what makes you guys you, and it makes us. Where we get caught up in all of it, and we would crumble. We do crumble in every sort of intense situation. And that's why you are at the level where you're winning professional golf tournaments. But no, it's just like it's fun to just like be able to speak to guys like you that are like in it. You guys are. This is the best time of your life. This is it. You're about to be playing the Masters. Like, take control of this shit, man. Like this, you're not going to get this for the rest of your life. This is it.
I know.
This is your time, dude. Let's fucking go, Postman. I want Jim Nance being like, the Postman delivers a green jacket. Like, it's gonna be. I want the whole deal. I want it. Like, I want it bad.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
We won't be letting you talk to. We won't let Frankie talk to you again before. But this will be the last time.
He's gonna be thinking about
Postman's
me on
like,
that
was pretty good.
Dude, I just won. God.
Yeah, some inspiration right there, Frankie. I mean, I'm on it. Right. I'm on it.
Good.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hell
no better time than now, man. Let's do it. With football season in full swing, I think this would be the perfect time to talk about the MVP of golf carts, the Easy Go vehicles. I wouldn't want a golf cart that's benched at halftime, and that's exactly what you're going to get with any other brand aside from Easy Go. They are the greatest kart brand in golf, in leisure karting, in home, in village karting. I mean, we talked about it on the last show, but you just moved to Florida. You got rigs down in Pinehurst. These are kart communities, and imagine having anything other than an Easy Go.
Dude, I see Easy Go's all over the place down here. Every time I leave my house to go do anything, even to just go get the mail out of the mailbox, I see an Easy Go pass by me. And I've never seen any other brand of golf cart down here except Easy Go. People know what is the best. They know where to go. They go on Easy Go. They customize them. They've got cool rims. They've got sound systems. They've got the colors they want. It's just, I really live in an Easy Go community. And if you have the ability to do that, you go with EasyGo because they are the very, very best.
You talk about these other brands, they're all import brands, right? So like this, the EasyGo is made right there in Augusta, Georgia, I believe is where it's made. In Augusta. That's where their headquarters are. I think that's where these things are assembled. And I've heard through the grapevine that the dealers that sell the import brands, they don't want to deal with all the problems that come with these import golf carts. And they're just, it's an unbelievably stressful situation with how many of these things break and all the parts aren't coming correctly. You just want to make sure that you're getting quality. Okay. Riggs has had this for a bunch of years. He knows the quality of EasyGos. You're about to dive deep into them. We all know about EasyGo from the golf course, but we're talking about being able to customize an actual EasyGo golf cart for your house, for your home, and you can actually win one. We're doing a sweepstakes. We are actually doing something for our listeners, okay? You guys can win one of these bad boys. So it's super easy. All you have to do is visit barstoolclassic.com/EasyGo sweeps and enter for a chance to win. That's one more time. barstoolclassic.com/EasyGo sweeps. Okay. You don't want to get fooled by these other import brands. You want to make sure that you are getting the best, and that's EasyGo. Just pay for quality. That's what you got to be doing. So you go on this website, you can check it out. You can check all the trims out. You can put on new interior. You can put new leather. You can put new rims on it. You can get music in them. I'm telling you, we've seen these things souped up. We've done commercials with them. We've seen the best of the best. We've seen even their standard baseline. Incredible. So barstoolclassic.com/EasyGo sweeps. That is where you're going to have a chance to win the brand new EasyGo Express S4. So barstoolclassic.com/EasyGo sweeps. Enter to win one of these things. It's the least you could do. It's free. Go enter it.
All right, Postman. 3 victories on the PGA Tour, coming off your most recent one. You got a nice little vacation coming up. You're all fired up going into the Masters, which unfortunately isn't like 6 months away. So you're going to have to pump the brakes a little bit.
That's all right.
But it was really awesome, dude. Congratulations. Congratulations to Fleener, who's one of my favorites. Always the nicest guys whenever we see you guys. One of the guys that we'll always remember that we saw at the old course at St. Andrews. We were just cruising around. And there you guys were right after the John Deere. So we appreciate the time. I know you're busy. I know you kind of want to just do your own thing probably and chill with the family and hang. So it means a lot that you spend time coming on here, revisiting the whole thing and talking with us and our audience. So much appreciated and congratulations.
Thank you. No, thank you guys for having me on. Looking forward to it. And we'll see you guys down the road.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Sounds
it,
good.
sir. This was great.
You sure will.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, JT. Appreciate it.
See you, boys.